So here we are in the garage. This is the Club Car golf cart that I picked up a few weeks ago from one of my neighbors. It's a 10-passenger with a standard Mitsubishi engine, vintage 1997-98. It's in pretty good shape. Underneath is an all steel frame. I'm sorry, all aluminum frame. And it's in very good condition. So now, after talking to my friend, so to continue, when my friend Thomas saw this golf cart, he decided that it might be a good idea to put a Volkswagen underneath it and make it a driver. So, in our hunting around for the last few weeks, we did manage to find a Volkswagen Beetle, which is sitting outside under cover. And the engine, which right now we've spent 3 or 4 weeks on getting it running, cleaned up, painted, and making it look presentable, is now sitting here waiting for us to bring the Beetle inside, take the body off, and see if we can modify the pan to fit underneath this golf cart. So that's our golf cart limo project. As you can see, the engine looks pretty good. The golf cart's going to go outside, sit outside for a few months or a month until we can get the car ready, the pan ready, and then we'll put it together. So we'll be back. So here we are, it's the 1st of December. The VW body is off the chassis. As you can see, it's in pretty good condition. Not very much rust at all. So the next move with the body is going to be to sell it, since we're not going to be using it. As you can see, it's complete with the dash, door panels, and we have the back seat. So we'll be trying to sell that. And now, here's the pan sitting up on the lift. We just got through cleaning the top. And as we go down here, you'll see that the bottom is very lightly rusted. The only holes we have are right where the battery compartment is, which we can patch. But the rest of this is extremely solid. It's never been redone, so this is an all original pan. Everything here is original. So I'm going to let this down and we'll take a look at the top. So here we are back looking at the pan. This is the top side. As you can see, it's all pretty complete. Pan areas all look very solid. Tunnel is in great shape. Transmission, just going to have to replace those boots on both sides. You can see the pan is in really good shape. Front end needs to be cleaned up. The brake lines are indicating to us that there's no wheel cylinder in this side, so we got to go through the front brake system, although the back looks like it's already been rebuilt. And here's the front side of the pan on the passenger side, and the tunnel all looks very solid. And the only pinholes we have are right here in the battery compartment. So we're going to have to do a little patch, probably a glue patch right in this area to make sure those holes don't get any worse and fill it in. But the rest of the chassis and the suspension system is great. So this is the 1st of December, and this is where we are. Okay, so we're on December 12th, and the chassis is just about ready to go. Everything's been painted. The brakes have been installed. We just have a few finishing touches, straightening out a couple of minor little leaks we have in the wheel seals, putting in the bumper there. Just finished painting these pans, and the front end is painted. Just have to double check this wheel bearing, tighten it up. And everything, as you can see, has been painted, ready to go. Checked out the lug nuts, made sure the studs were all working well. We have the master cylinder installed with a temporary reservoir set up so that we can get the brakes working. And just about ready to go. Okay, so here's the bottom. Just put the lift up so you can take a look at the bottom of the chassis. As you can see, it's all painted. Pan has been all redone, and new paint. Bottom of the transmission, everything's all set. So we're getting there. Pan's almost ready. Looking real good. Okay, so it's December 22nd, or maybe December 23rd, and the engine is mounted on the chassis, and the steering wheel is temporarily mounted. Wiring to the engine is pretty much complete. We have all the wiring in the back to the transmission and starter all done. Cables going up to the front. We have the bracket for the steering wheel temporary, and we have a temporary dashboard. So we have all of our switches and a key that actually works. Steering column, all the wiring is back here, pretty much all buttoned up. We got 2 or 3 wires that need to be pinned out, and we'll have it. Master cylinder is installed, and the brakes are pretty much working. We still got a little air in the fronts. We're working on it, but we'll get it. But as you can see, the chassis is ready to roll. Tires are on, shocks are on. It actually looks sort of like a rolling pan. So all we have left to do is finish up some wiring and turn the key, and we should be able to fire it up and take it around the block. Of course, we might have to put a seat on it. We didn't get to that yet, but so there it is, the pan ready to roll.
I want to use that handbrake too. Brake is working, ain't it? Yeah. Okay. Good, good, good. Look at that thing. Look at that thing. Bye. How's that parking brake? Work? Oh, we don't need the other pedal. Motor sounds so nice.
Yes, it does.
How's that going to be driving to the beach, Pat? Huh?
I think Peekaboo's gonna like it.
Put all your umbrellas and everything in the bucket we're going to make, and down to the beach you go.
Well, it's been a very busy day. We had the bug on the road today, and we brought the limo inside, took the top off of it, took a good look at what we have to work with. You can see we opened up, took some of the seats off. Took the seat out of here. So it's opened up so we can see what we have to work with. And the whole front end is now out. We took the front end out. And it's laying here on the floor in pieces, but that's that. So the limo's there. The bug is here. And now we just have to take the engine out of the, once we get the engine out of the bug, out of the limo, we gotta drop this out of here, and then we can start seeing how it fits together. So here it is, the bug and the limo. We'll see how it ends up working out. So here we are on January 3rd, and we have the body pretty close to where it's got to be. Chassis down there, chassis on top, the bug chassis down the bottom, and we're still quite a ways off the ground, but I think we're going to stay that way. We're going to probably be down another 3-4 inches, but we're looking good. Made all our clearances, cleared out all the room we need, got the shocks and everything to clear. And so we're just at a point where we gotta get the last few inches out of this setup. We got a gas tank going in the seat in the front that's on its way. And I took the Club Car nose off so we could see where we have to work here, but we just got to go from this front plate down to these 2 bolts on top that mounts the front in place. And I guess we're going to have to eliminate the Volkswagen pedals because they're not going to work. But we do have the Easy Go or the Club Car Go pedal working. So that'll be part of the deal. Gas tank goes in here. And then we just have to work out a little clearance on the back seat, which I don't think will be much of a problem. So, another day, another report. Okay, Peekaboo gets the first ride.
Peekaboo, say how do you do?
We're on the wheels. That's what we're working on.
It's going to be close. I think we can do it, but it's going to be close.
We're looking at wheel spacers, which is what it comes down to. Okay, it's Friday, January 30th? No, 23rd. Anyway, just doing an update on the bug project. As you can see, the steering wheel with the signal light switch is all ready to be installed. It's mounted on the column. Down here, the steering column and universal joint have been fabricated, so now the steering is completely functional. You'll also notice a new master cylinder for the brakes and a master cylinder for the clutch installed. And the old one is still sitting here. We're just going to wait until we finish taking the body off and finishing up some fabrication and then putting it back on. We will update all the hydraulics. You'll also notice there's a gas gauge on the box. The emergency brake lever is installed and the pedals are installed. We remodified the Volkswagen pedals to use in this situation. So you can see the seat is hiding gas tank and the emergency brake. So this part of the car is all ready to go. We just have to hook a few things up. Now the next part is the back end here. Put in some rails so that we can mount the fenders, and as you'll see in a second, the fenders are mounted on the other side already. Dashboard's still sitting back here. It can be a little hard to drive from back here, but you can see the fender is mounted. We did a little experiment this week with 3 or 4 of the guys. We got on it and stood on it and to see how much actual weight it could handle, and we determined that this is the correct height for the fender. So this one's mounted tentatively. All it has to do is be welded in. And so as you can see, the project is moving along pretty good. Also I picked up a Chevrolet grill, as you can see here, which we plan to mount in front of the hood here. Once we get that cleaned up and painted, we'll put this in front. This will make it look a little old school, and that's the status as of today. Okay, it's around February 18th. we've been doing a lot of work on this bug project. As you can see, we have seat belts. The engine has already been run and is ready to run. Fenders are on with rubber edges to keep it from overspraying. The steering wheel and dashboard are permanently installed. Speedometer, switches, and the radio. Radio includes a backup camera, which we will be installing shortly. As you can see, the seat you've seen before, the seat has a gas tank underneath. Shifter's been extended, put the floor boot on, and now we have a waterproof container for the fuse box mounted underneath what'll be the front fairing. The wiring, although it looks a little bit of a maze, is really about 95% done. All the correct wiring. We're just going to do a test and double check on all the wiring, and then we're probably going to try and start this thing tomorrow. Our red wire is for the radio, a few wires there for the radio. The yellow thing is for the backup camera. So as you can see, we're pretty far along. Just about ready to go. About ready to put it on the road.